get out. Just kidding, but I do want you to get out. Outside, out of your head, out of your comfort zone. Whatever you're stuck in that you need to get out of, you should do that because it's really good for you. I'm Justin Addis, aka the Roadside Writer. Today I'm going to talk to you more about the roadside part of that. Welcome to our first official Skoolie adventure. So what the hell is a Skoolie? According to Urban Dictionary, a Skoolie is defined as a school bus that has been purchased by a private owner and converted for some purpose other than hauling people around, such as RVing. So what drives a pair of young people with their whole lives ahead of them to choose this path? Straight out of college, my best friend and I decided to hike the Appalachian Trail. All the way through. That's right. But that's a different story for a different video. Naturally, finishing this 2,182 mile trail opened our minds to alternative lifestyle choices. When we got back, my girlfriend at the time, Katie, got it in her head that we could try tiny home living. And after living in the woods for 5 months, I was all over it. We originally started with the idea of living in a customized shipping container that was finished inside, you know, like the kind you find on a barge. When we considered the logistics of not only building and finishing the inside of the container, but hiring or renting a huge truck and trailer to move it every time we wanted to move the trailer somewhere, our wallets threw themselves in the nearest shredder. So no, we didn't try it. Then Katie explained this radical new idea to me. Now this was 2 years ago, so the idea of a Skoolie was still relatively new, and as soon as she explained what it was, I was completely into it. So what I'm about to give you is a condensed version of what you'll find on my blog for the past 2 years. If you get through this video and you find yourself yearning for more, just check out my blog. I'll leave a link in the description for the video. Everything you see in this bus, we did ourselves, with our own 2 hands, just us. The only time we ever let someone else touch it was when we had somebody teach us how to do plumbing so we could do the rest ourselves. After that, the next time someone else worked on it was the mechanic inspecting it. We laid the foundational structures, we insulated, we did most of the plumbing, the electric, the propane, all of the construction, and the cover-up of the school bus paraphernalia all over the place, and of course the decorating. I would say this is Katie's cocaine, but it's really more like her bath salts. Fast forward 2 years and dump the knowledge of about 8 amateur tradesmen into our young, impressionable minds, and you've got a livable bus with all the amenities you'd find in a regular house, and 2 real-life bus people living in it, along with a bus cat and several other bus critters. All that was left was to drive it away. So this is where our Skoolie story intersects with my YouTube channel. It's why I decided to call it the Roadside Writer. A couple days ago, we finally hit the road, and we drove our home 8 hours north to the Lakes region in New Hampshire to stay with Katie's dad at a cabin. Don't get me wrong, it was stressful, but not as stressful as either of us were picturing, and it was even more amazing than either of us thought it would be. So we got out. We got out of a place that neither of us liked living on Long Island. We got out into the world, and we got out of a ridiculously linear, locked-in, traditional pathway that a lot of people of our age get stuck in. Now I'm challenging you to do the same. Whether you're a writer or not, I'm sure you're familiar with the stereotype that we're cave dwellers, basement livers, or creepy alcoholics. I mean, come on guys, this was 1849. It's time to update our prejudice. Firstly, there are about 100 different types of writers. The one everyone tends to think of is the traditional novelist. There are copywriters, which actually work in advertisement, editors, journalists, and at least one more. The truth is though, if you're a remote writer like me as a ghostwriter, it can be pretty easy to get into a routine of just sitting in the same place and doing your same work every day. I've taken particular measures to combat this sedentary lifestyle. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Justin, we don't all live in a school bus like you. Or, Justin, we don't all work remotely. We don't have infinite free time. But here's the thing, I'm only sharing my own experience to inspire you to go have your own adventure. Go ahead and do a quick Google search, I dare you, to try and find the nearest park. No matter where you are, there's one probably within an hour drive. Make a plan, take a trip, have an adventure. It's really good for you. This goes for anyone, but it's almost essential for writers to keep a stranglehold on your sanity. Don't just sit in a dark room with your brandy, some guy under your floorboards, and brainstorm ideas for your next brave new fictional world. Go out and experience the goods in the one that we have. People always praise reading for being absolutely essential to writing, and it is. But I would go as far to venture that it might be even more important to go out and experience the world that we live in. How can you build a world if you haven't experienced how one works hands-on? Don't think it's that important? Allow me to try and change your mind. A few days after our muscles unwound from the tension of the trip with the Skoolie, Katie and I went with her family to the Squam Lake Natural Science Center. This place is exemplary of the area's ecosystems and wildlife. Hold on a second. Ecosystems, wildlife, why does that sound so familiar? Alright, you need all those things to develop a good story. Creating different beasts, habitats, nature systems are skills that are all but essential if you're going to be writing in science fiction, fantasy, adventure, or dystopia, or countless other genres. It's even more important if you're going to be writing fiction based on our world. Trust me, real-world immersion will translate to a much higher level of detail in your writing than a Google search. The exhibits at the Squam Lake Science Center were so interactive in explaining how things work and why. What a great way in a story to illustrate the way your world works without info dumping. Take notes, this is how you do it. Also, there was this kick-ass display of dinosaurs around one part of the park. Whether you're talking creatures or story ideas, this is just great. I mean, come on, aren't there like 5 movies about why this is a bad idea? What great foreshadowing for a fantasy or science fiction book, to have a model of an apex predator long gone standing around, only to have it return to life. A few days later, we went on a hike up Rattlesnake Mountain. What better way to experience what it's like for your characters to go on a journey than to go on one yourself? Are you ready to hike Rattlesnake Mountain?
I think so.
Now, even if you're not the biggest fan of hiking, it's still something anyone writing adventure or fantasy or any story involving a pilgrimage should experience. One good long walk through the woods and all of your assumptions about carrying supplies and food will magically evaporate. That's if you're writing any kind of story involving a very long journey. If we're talking in terms purely of geography and world building, then all you really need is a day hike. Go somewhere more exotic than, the park around the corner or your local supermarket. Climb a small mountain. Swim in a pond. Go for a stroll through a small forest. Get out there and see what the natural world is really like. What better way to gather building blocks for your own fictional world? All great artists borrow from the masterpieces of those who came before. For us, that masterpiece was Rattlesnake Mountain. For those of you uninitiated with hiking, the reason there are so many diagonal logs and other structures along the trail that cross it is to divert runoff of water away. One of nature's lesser known formations, the pea hider.
Freeze!
Squam. So we got out, we explored, we opened up and drank in the inspiration nature had to offer. Still think I'm full of horse turd? Check this out. A map of my sci-fi ebook Strand the Silver Radio. Observed the Avalon Spire over here in the east. That was inspired by Mount Katahdin, one of the tallest peaks in Maine. A separate project I wrote for work took place in South America. I drew very heavily on my experience going there with Katie when we visit Central America and Costa Rica. It's real, gang. You don't trust a plumber who's never held a wrench. You don't trust an electrician who's never wired something. And you shouldn't really trust someone who's trying to build a world when they have no idea how the one around them works. I know they're not the same, but seriously guys, it's really important. you can't construct believable lives on paper if you don't have any experience in life of your own. So there you go, a few reasons to get out of whatever you need to get out of and experience the world. It inspires new ideas and helps you develop building blocks for your own fictional worlds, nature systems, wildlife, geography, pretty much everything. You can draw an inspiration from the world we have and just tweak it for your own made-up world. Whether you're a full-time bus person or a weekend warrior, just get out. It's good for you. If you're a writer, it's even better. More travel videos coming soon. If you'd like to learn more about our Skoolie experience, you can visit my blog or shoot me a comment below the video. I'd love to make more videos about what it's like living in a Skoolie. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Same with my Appalachian Trail experience. It's all over my blog, but I'd be more than happy to make a video about it if anyone has specific questions. Just shoot them down into the comments. I've had some great interaction on these videos already. I have an awesome small little community here, but I'd love to hear more from new subscribers. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe to The Roadside Writer. Roadside Writer, out.